basically the entire time that we're hanging out there, you've got people drifting, ripping around the oval, and drag racing. No matter where you go, there's something to watch. It's amazing. Welcome back to the Money Shift podcast. This is episode 39, and today we are talking all about Slush Motorsports Festival because, well, at least part of our team is going to be there this weekend at Pikes Peak Speedway, and we're really excited. We went last year, had a blast, even more excited for what's to come this year. And so I'm hanging out here with Slava and Iron Maiden. And we're going to be chatting a little bit about, about my experience of how it went in 2025, and then some of the cool new things that we're introducing to the Slush experience in 2026. So let's get into it. How you guys doing today?
Awesome. Beautiful Wednesday. Looking forward to Slush this week. Had a great race weekend, so can't wait to touch on that as well. How you doing, Gary?
Mm-hmm. Hey everyone, GN. Yeah, it's great to be here. Another episode for the Money Shift podcast. And I mean, it's going to be great this weekend. Can't wait for the team to head over there, display some of the cars that they're taking, and also just, looking forward to meeting some of the community members if they happen to, be at that event, because that's what it's all about, right? Community. So yeah, definitely looking forward to this episode and ready to dive in.
Yeah, and you're totally right. Everything we're doing here is for community. And just quick little story I'll tell that you just brought to my mind is I went to a car meet last night and was sharing what we're building with a lot of the people that were there. And, the excitement was palpable as far as the problems that we're solving for the car culture at large. And some people are like, so is it like a social media thing? Is it like, like Instagram for cars? I was like, no. This is all about, not about getting you into another app doom scrolling. This is about finding out how you can integrate with your real life car culture. So, that's what we're really passionate about. Car culture lives in real life. It's on the roads. It's at these meets. It's at these bigger events. And, I think Instagram and things like that are like a way to, I guess, indulge in your passion when you're not out in the world. But what we're all about here is creating more opportunities for people to get out and build community and become part of something, with the enthusiasts in the real world. So, yeah, that's what I'm really looking forward to here this weekend, and not just hopefully seeing some of our community members out there, but also onboarding new community members. That's really what these are about, is introducing what we're building to a whole new audience, bringing them inside the gates, excuse me, and getting them up and running so they can start taking advantage of everything that we're building for them for the car culture. So very excited.
Yeah, and it's coming full circle with Slush Motorsports being like something that you've been a part of with Josh from the beginning. So it seems like the journey and what pain points they experience. So I think it's a perfect little marriage of like needs and feature sets that we're trying to build.
Yeah, absolutely. And we even see what we're building as a tool that down the road Slush Motorsports and other big events like this can leverage. So they're not, wasting their time using 4 or 5 different platforms to organize the entirety of the event. They can do everything through one seamless experience. So yeah, fingers crossed that we're able to, build those inroads even further with the Slush organization and hopefully get them on board. Luckily, we do have a pretty solid relationship with them already, considering our co-founder, Josh, at Rev Hard Motors, helped Phil, the creator of Slush Motorsports, get it off the ground. I feel like we're in a good position to really help them to make the experience much better than ever. But I guess before we really dig into that, let's just kind of touch on how things have been going over the last week. We did have the 24 hours of Nurburgring over the weekend, And one of the things we're trying to do every weekend that there's a major race, which is, let's face it, most weekends, particularly not in the wintertime, is to have a watch party inside of our Discord server. So we were able to stream roughly 4 hours of the 24-hour race, because I didn't realize that you had to pay for a subscription to watch the rest in the US at least. I know, Slava, you watched the race because you're using a VPN, so you got free access to the whole race. Wish I would have known that beforehand, but it was still a very interesting race. Al, if you want to talk about, how you felt about how it went.
Well, luckily, because we are in like the Web3 verse, we're a pretty international crowd. And I have friends that are from, New Zealand, Australia, and all over. So a friend of mine, Sean, living in Australia, always watches these races. So I'm privy to watching through him when I can't get it broadcasted through the United States. So shout out, Sean. Thank you. It was a really fun race. It was one of the biggest races. I think we spoke about that, or we touched on it last week in the podcast, where it was the biggest turnout for the 24-hour Nurburgring in like 14 years, I think.
Yeah, and they're attributing that to the Max effect.
Yeah, which was amazing. I mean, you did see that his, I guess, brand and just his presence brought a lot of attention, right? And there was a lot of fun. Like, you could even see the drivers being passed by Max, enjoying the fact that they're being passed. Like, even being overtaken by the world champion is something that was exhilarating for people driving on the same track. And you got to see, I mean, the sim racers that I've watched for a while, like Jimmy Broadbent was on the same track because he was part of the Porsche team, I think, this year with Misha and with Alex, is handles Super GT. But they are someone that came out of this sim racing. Like, I watched them GT Gran Turismo race for years now, and they transitioned from sim racers to become real drivers, and now they're competing in the same 24-hour race with world champions, which is amazing to watch. So it's kind of like converging both worlds now, where it's like the gaming world and the F1 world is all coming together at this like 24-hour Nurburgring. So I think that also kind of gave to the catalyst of like why so many people were involved, because it was the people that loved the Nurburgring because of how epic it is and legendary as a track. People that love F1 have been watching Max for a long time. People that usually watch GT racing. And then on top of that, all the sim racers that have been following everyone that has participated in this race, I think kind of culminated in this group of watchers that we haven't seen before. And it was really interesting to watch. I mean, the changing conditions from like daytime to nighttime, wet to dry, and different driving styles. And, Max was leading the race towards the end of it, but he had a rear differential problem, I think.
I think it was a broken drive shaft.
Oh, drive shaft. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So he had an issue with the car. The other Mercedes ended up winning. They did put the car on the track for the last lap just to like officially, end the race as well with everyone so that they completed it. But I mean, for the first time, I think it was really fun. It was really entertaining. A lot of people were involved. A lot of memes came out of it. A lot of just good time, sportsmanship. There wasn't anything crazy. Yeah, all around, I think it did really well for motorsports, and I'm looking forward to what else happens out of like Team Verstappen and their collaboration with Mercedes that they're doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love to see this growing excitement for motorsport. These 24-hour races, a lot of people could see them as being quite boring. It's a full day of racing, very intense racing, no less. And for those that don't know, Nurburgring, otherwise known as Green Hell, is it's probably the longest racetrack in the world, if my memory serves.
At the moment, yeah, and it has the most elevation changes, the bumpiest. I mean, it will destroy your
brakes and suspension.
Your brakes or suspension. I mean, it is a really taxing track on your vehicle. So like to be able to push for 24 hours on edge with your vehicle is I think why manufacturers compete here, to show that they're able to do this for a whole day, literally redlining their car the whole time. I think that's how it started. And the Nürburgring is used right now for like a lot of testing, right? Like when EVs go to test their cars, they're like, can we do 2 laps? And that's
it was the Porsche. Oh my God, what is the new EV Porsche? The Porsche Macan GT Turbo or whatever. Yeah. I might be wrong about that, but I think it just set the record for the fastest EV around Nürburgring last year. Yeah, last year we had the battle between the Ford Mustang, what is it, the GTB, or I don't know my Mustangs, and the Corvette ZR1X.
Okay.
Man, as a car guy, I should know these things a lot better. But
Well,
yeah, and those two were going, yeah, they were going back and forth between setting the record for, the fastest street legal car on the track.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's become sort of that the biggest bragging right that you can earn is your performance on the Nurburgring. So it's definitely got that prestige to it. But that aside, the fact that more and more people are getting into motorsport as a whole, I think we're seeing even a resurgence in NASCAR is finally starting to become interesting again. IndyCar is becoming much more popular, and helps us because that's our audience. But I don't really know what to attribute it to other than maybe better media being put out around all of these types of racing, and probably also the growing prevalence of people getting into sim racing. So I think between those two, we're seeing maybe a new golden era of motorsport right now emerging.
I also think it's access to the car, and to your point, sim racing gave a lot more people access to the wheel, at least, and pedals. Because if you can't afford a car, you can probably afford a sim rig for a couple $100. And I think that's what kind of made the difference. It broadened the sphere out to more people, I think. And it usually takes about 100 years for a invention to become part of the general lexicon of people. So the piano was invented 100 years before it became an instrument officially. So it took 100 years for the whole world to realize, oh, okay, this is an instrument, this is how we play. And I equate that to most things. If you look at most inventions, it takes about 100 years for internationally people to realize what the thing is. And cars, being released to us, I think the Ford T, I'm looking at the dates now, was 1910?
Yeah, ours originally, it was 1886 that we had the first, what we would call the actual automobile
cars. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would say it's about 100 and something years. So I think it took that 100 years for the whole world to realize what a vehicle is and a car is in that way, even though we've used it so much. It's just something that naturally happens. And I think that might be also a reason as to why we're seeing this interest grow more and more. Just naturally this happens for some reason. It's
I'd never thought about it like that.
Yeah. It was something that I realized when I was looking at the theremin, because it was also took about 100 years for it to be considered an instrument, because it just sounds like
So does that mean we'll finally get mass adoption of crypto in 2109?
Probably. Yeah, right.
Yeah, we only got another 80 years to go.
Yeah, it's not that bad. It's for our kids.
Yeah. Oh man. But yeah, so on that note, if you're watching this, you're probably into cars or motorsport to some degree. So definitely come into our Discord server. Just about every weekend, we'll be doing some watch parties of different pro racing leagues. This upcoming weekend, we have got the Canadian Grand Prix. So F1 is going to be streamed live. So definitely don't want to miss that. Unfortunately, I won't be able to make it because I will be in Denver at Slush Motorsports. I may be able to pop in here and there if I go take a break in the tour bus. But yeah, I'm sure Slav will be in there for a bit, Iron Maiden, and regardless of whether or not they're there, the race will be streamed live. Probably even be doing some of the qualifying and practice stuff too, right? So any of the sessions you can come and hang out and watch. And you don't need to have an Apple TV subscription. We got you covered there.
Yeah, just hold some Buster, and in the Buster chat, we can all hang out and watch.
Yep. So yeah, that's the one requirement. Just hold any amount of Buster, go and verify your wallet that you are a holder, and then you'll get access to the watch party live stream channel.
Yeah, and something that's not, 80 years away.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of blockchain, I do want to give a shout out to, I'm just going to say NBSJQ. I can't remember the exact way, made by Studio JQ. And so this is that cross section of blockchain and cars. And this is a amazing, beautiful automotive themed digital collection of NFTs that was just recently put out by this artist. And I'll go ahead and pull this up. So he's actually worked with some really big brands. So he's not just some, fly by night artist, trying to get a quick payday on crypto. This guy has been around. I think he used to have in here I think he used to work with like Williams and Mercedes F1 teams, but we got to pull up the collection here. It is all F1 inspired art pieces that combines like material, like, what's the word I'm looking for here? Material juxtaposition. So, Formula One cars are rigid and aerodynamic, and he combines them with, let's say, like silk and materials to convey motion while showing the car in a still state. And I think these are really beautiful and, definitely something that if you're into digital collectibles and trading cards, this guy's stuff has actually been, let's see, I think he has a previous collection here. You can see some of them are selling for 0.5 ETH, so that's $2,500. At least that was the time, I suppose, at what it was worth. Yeah, 0.5 ETH is what his old collection was going for. The new collection is going for 0.2 ETH. So if that trend holds, the value of these is going to potentially go up by 150%. So might be interesting to look into. For me, like, man, I would love to snag one of these and get an art print for the wall, and maybe even like have these things displayed at our CODA facility when we open it up. I've been thinking a lot about how do I want to decorate the Driven HQ at CODA, and I saw these. I was like, man, I want prints of these on the walls. These are incredible.
Yeah, exactly. I was thinking the same when we were going. I was looking over the newsletter. I'm like, these look great, and I was thinking, oh, does something like this for the our headquarters down in Austin. I can imagine the community at an event, right, watching a race, participating, and having these beautiful, artwork displayed as well as other stuff. But this is really nice, and actually, as we give him a shout out, hopefully, that next time we can get a hold of him so that way he can join us. That we would like to talk and dive a little bit more into what inspired him to, this type of artwork, and it'll be great to have him on the next episode. But in the meantime, as we're looking at this, I'm seeing as well that a lot of what we call it motorsports as well are diving in, touching in some ways or in small ways, diving a little bit into the Web3 type of thing, right? Into especially digital collection. So this is great. Same thing with, I don't know how to pronounce the 24-hour what?
Nurburgring.
Okay, yeah. So they also have, like, you take a photo of the event of yourself in the event, you tag them, and they'll send you actual digital collectible as well of the event. So see, this is
really? I didn't hear about that.
Yeah. So this is really cool. Once again, aspecting how car culture and motorsport taps a little bit into the the new, I'll say, ways of I don't know. Yeah, integrating it to Web3 and bringing it to the culture and to the masses.
Yeah. Why can't it's collectible? What was that again, Gary?
Oh yeah. So let me see if I can share this internally, and that way we can show it here. One moment, guys.
Yeah, sure. And I just have to point this out. So when you're talking about Nurburgring, there's different, like, I guess, track setups to this. So if you have the trouble pronouncing Nurburgring, I dare you to try and pronounce this one right here. You see what I'm looking at in the middle? Do your best. Let's see what you got.
Challenge? That's the challenge now.
Yeah, that's a challenge.
Let's see. No, like.
Not bad. Not bad. Yeah, it's Nordschleife.
Yeah.
Okay, like that. I guess they have that pronunciation at the end, but okay. Nurburgring.
Yeah, the Nurburgring.
Yeah, such a hard. And it's funny because when we were looking into, before the event, I was thinking, oh, is this the same one as Nuremberg? And I kept saying Nuremberg. But
Yeah.
I was incorrect.
Yeah, a lot of people make so a lot of people will say Nurembergring. Like, no, that's not right.
Nurburgring. Yeah.
Nurburgring.
Can we go back for a second to show people this? Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, the scale of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me.
You could even.
I already.
Oh, he closed it. I'm sorry.
I closed it, but that's fine. I can get right back to it.
That little GP map is like what usually is a track. So like that little GP circle is what the usual racetrack is for like Formula One or other races, and even those have different layouts. As you can see, the gray little lines in between. But if you look at the full track, the Nordschleife, the GP is just that little arrow at the bottom. So if you look at the bottom, that little, it's right there. That's it. This is it. That is it. Yeah. So it's like, I don't know what, like 100 times or 300 times what a regular.
Yeah, let's see if it says, because I can never remember how big, is it 13 miles?
Yeah, it takes about.
The North Loop, Nordschleife is, which was around 13 miles, joined together to form an 18-mile long circuit.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah, so I suppose 18 miles is how big it is. That's a long. Oh yeah, so the 13-mile long Nordschleife. Yeah, it's quite the track. I mean, imagine trying to remember all of the corners, all of the braking points for the entire track. Is like, man, you got to put some serious sim seat time in to memorize that.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it makes it much easier with the sim now, because like imagine having to like actually have the track time to remember all of that. Like I don't know if I'd be able to do that. I definitely remember it now because I've just sim raced it so many times.
Yeah,
but
that is definitely a bucket list item to do Nurburgring. But I'm gonna have to probably practice for a year on the sim before I even step foot on that track, just to feel confident.
I'm ready now. So you ready? Let's go.
All right.
Over there, we can go. Just not in the Ferrari.
No, most definitely not.
Yeah,
in a Ferrari, not our Ferrari.
We're gonna take the Ferrari.
It's all right. You can pass. You can pass.
Just to cruise. Yeah, we're sticking to the right. Everyone can pass. We're just cruising.
Yeah,
that's right.
But yeah, so bringing it back to this, I just wanted to give a shout out to, I'll just call him JQ. Amazing work. We have invited him onto the podcast, so with any luck, maybe we'll get him on here in one of the next episodes. And if you are a collector and into cars, you don't want to miss this one. It's definitely worth checking out. But I guess for now, we can go ahead and dive into the Slush Motorsports Festival news. But before I do that, I do want to give a quick call to action. If you're not already, please do subscribe to the Daily Driven newsletter. We've got issue number 123 coming out this Friday. Mind you, I will say there's a possibility with everything I've got going on leading in a day for Slush. I'm hoping that I can get it all together in time, if not next weekend. But yeah, either way, please do subscribe, show some support, send it to your friends who are into cars as well. I think that this is a great piece of, a great car culture digest to really kind of get your weekend started on the right foot. And yeah, so. But yeah, what do you say we go ahead and chat about the Slush Motorsports Festival? I wanted to start it off by showing this video. Oh, we're going to get a commercial. I got this video prepped so I wouldn't have to advertise KFC. So here we are. We're going to have to watch this with the KFC ad.
Well, I mean, while the ad goes on, this is the third year that you'll be there, correct?
This is the second year I'll be there.
Oh, second year. Okay.
It will be the sixth year, I want to say, that Josh has been there. Awesome. And real quick, while I'm showing you this, so this is more or less the grounds. You've got the drifting track right here. You've got the oval that goes all the way around it. And then to the left here, on the other side of where it's cut off, is a drag strip. So basically the entire time that we're hanging out there, you've got people drifting, ripping around the oval, and drag racing. And it is like, there's, no matter where you go, there's something to watch. It's amazing. Last year, we were in the garage right here was our location. And it was a very nice location. I'll show you some pictures here in just a moment. This year, I'm anticipating that we're going to be somewheres over here. So we're going to be directly across from Adam LZ's setup. Last year, I believe, I don't know if you guys can see my cursor. I know it's kind of small, but yeah, this section right here, I think was Adam LZ's setup. So I think we're going to be right across the way, either here or here. Either way, we're going to be neighbors with Adam LZ. So that's going to be fun. But let's go ahead and watch this like 1 minute clip to give you a little bit of a taste of what it's about. Mind you, this is a little bit more about drifting. There's a lot more that happens, but let's go ahead and check it out. I'm going to do no music, otherwise, and I don't want any copyright strikes, and also it tends to be a weird issue when I play audio through Streamlabs. So here we go.
Legends.
You gonna go for a ride along?
Oh yeah, you know it.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Yeah,
fun.
I'm angling, pun intended, to hopefully get a ride along with Adam LZ.
Ooh, that'll be dope.
Yeah.
Get him some Buster glasses.
Oh yeah, that'd be sweet to get him to drift in the glasses. I don't know how safe that would be, but you never know.
I'm sure he can do it, if anyone can.
Right. If not, I'll be in the Buster glasses.
Yeah.
This team right here, you saw
The yellow Emperors. Yeah.
Yeah, that is Fool's Errand. So they are good friends with Josh, our co-founder. And
Awesome.
so it'll be good to see those guys out there. Maybe get a little ride along with them.
In the back. And then what is that? A Subaru next?
Yeah, they're mostly S chassis, and I think they might have like 1 or 2 BMWs there. So yeah, as I said, this is mostly
by pairs.
Sorry?
Are they drifting by pairs or they're just going alone?
There were 4 of them. There were
Yeah.
It was a group.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like tandem team drifting. So that's really, in the world of drifting, they usually do that more for exhibitions, just to show off and, entertain the crowds. Whereas in the actual competitions, it's just one-on-one. Yeah. So that's a little taste, a little more drifting heavy, but like I said, there's oval track, there's drag racing, there's even 2-step competitions, which I will definitely be wearing these for, because honestly, I'm not a big fan of 2-step. But yeah, fun nonetheless. We also have some images from our event last year. Oh, sorry. Oh, this is the one from last year. So we've got Paul Walker's Ferrari right here. We've got our booth with all of our merch. You can see my S14 here. We also had a Lancer Evo 5, and then just outside of the garage was a Bayside Blue R34 GTR. I don't know if it's the same one that's going to be there this year, but I'll cover that in a minute. There was also probably the rarest car at the entire show was at our booth, and that was what's called a Ken Mary GTR. So that was effectively like the 2nd gen GTR that came out in, was it like 1973, and was only produced for about 6 months.
Wow.
And I think those cars are probably upwards of like $1 million, easily between $500,000 and $1 million these days. So that was really cool to see live. And then let's see, let's get ahead. All right. But at this year's event, of course, we're going to have Paul Walker's Ferrari again on display, using that to teach people about what we're doing here at Driven Labo on our RWA side, where people can become fractional co-owners of the car. If you're watching this, you probably heard us talk about it a million times, so I won't bore you to death on that. but we'll be introducing it to an entirely new audience out there. We've got a Bayside Blue Mori Spec R34 GTR and a white GTR V-Spec 1 as well. So wanted to take a minute and chat a little bit about the sort of the lore and the legend behind the GTR and why these cars, it's a Nissan, but it is honestly our generation, for the most part, our generation's dream car. I was recently at a car show over the weekend, and I was talking to a guy there. He was wearing a GTR shirt, and he was, asking me questions about my car. I was like, I see you're a GTR fan. He's like, oh yeah, it's my dream car. And then he lifted up his sleeve, and he had an R34 GTR tattoo. And I was like, oh man, you're hardcore. And so I was like, you're planning on buying one day? He's like, man, I'd love to, but I just don't think I'll ever be able to afford one. And for those that don't know, on the low end, you're going to spend $150,000 on one of these. Looking at this V-Spec 2, a Mori Spec, this is probably closer to a $300,000 to $400,000 car. And so I was like, dude, I can totally understand. My dream car is a Millennium Jade M-Spec Nur edition, which is easily $500,000. And I was like, well, what would you say if you could be a fractional owner of a GTR and get perks of, opportunities to drive it and experience it and all that? And he's like, I'd be so about it. And I was like, all right, well, we need to exchange information. So, but anyway, Slava, I know you had some thoughts you wanted to share on the GTR. If you want to kind of let us know what you're thinking.
This was also the car that was nicknamed Godzilla, right?
Technically, if you want to be really pedantic, Godzilla was the R32, but that name stuck for the GTR series after that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I recently also watched a podcast about people that travel, much like Josh, to be able to procure the R34s, R32s out in Japan, and that was really special to watch. I'd love to see Josh's journey one day, to see how he goes out there and the different meetups. It was also fun to speak to Humpty about his experiences there. So he's going to be out in Japan. It'll be fun to see what GTRs he gets to see. But no, for me, I mean, it was more in video games, right? I mean, I didn't have access to any of these cars. It was all just posters or video games and Need for Speed and being able to modify them. Yeah, I mean, I would love to just, touch one. So next time you guys go out to an event, I will definitely be out there. Shout out to Josh.
Yeah, we'll get you guys out there for sure.
Yeah, I just think that they're special cars, and the fact that they're able to be out here now and people are taking care of them and properly maintaining these vehicles. They're not just like, rusting away in somebody's garage. I think it's magical in its own way. And there's only less and less of them available. So us tokenizing GTRs, I think, is the right move.
Yeah, so that is the hope that, in the near future, when we release the RS2 token, so when we fractionalize the second car in our collection, my vote, although this will ultimately be up to the community of Buster holders, my vote is going to be for a GTR, particularly an R34. Depending on the amount that we can raise towards all coming together to purchase the car, I would say a V-Spec 2 makes a lot of sense because, we can pick one of those up in the roughly $200,000 range, if we get lucky. But if we really knock it out of the park and we bring in a lot of participants into the pre-sale of the RS2 token, if we could just set our sights high for that M-Spec Nur, that'd be life-changing for everybody involved.
What about taking GTRs that are not in the best condition? Do we have the capacity to restore them?
Yeah, absolutely. So there are, I don't know if you've seen images of it online. There's basically like GTR graveyards where people have, I don't know if graveyard is the best way to put it, but they're just these massive yards where people have acquired GTRs and other levels of the Skyline. in anticipation for selling them to the US market when they become available. But the problem is they've been sitting out under the sun. A lot of them haven't been driven in a long time. So you can find some really good deals on pretty rough Skylines. So, getting a hold of those are much easier, but then you have to put the time and the money into refurbishing it. But you guys know my dream of doing resto mod JDM cars. So those would be the perfect candidates to come in, provided they're not, rusted down to the frame rails. We can take those in and, basically be our own Omori factory, stripping them down to bare metal and building them back up again. So yeah, dreams, things that we can work towards. But what you're saying is totally correct about our generation. We got exposure to these cars from like Gran Turismo and Need for Speed and video games, and then later on it was featured in the Fast and Furious movies. So in Too Fast, Too Furious, and in the third edition, Brian O'Connor, aka Buster, for those who know, drove GTR, and he also became a massive fan of GTRs in real life and ended up owning some in his collection. In fact, there's a really interesting story recently about the iconic silver and blue one that was recently discovered. Somebody had purchased it years ago. It had disappeared off the map. And it turns out the guy, where was this? Carrie, can you remind me? I know that we were talking about this when this news came out. It was maybe like Eastern Europe or somewhere that it wound up. And the guy had it displayed on his roof. And then they had to come in with a crane and pull it down. And somebody else had purchased it. And their objective is to basically, revive that iconic car from the movie.
Okay. I didn't know. Yeah.
For the name or for?
Sorry, Kerry?
What was that? You were asking for the?
Oh, I was just asking if you remember where that car was discovered.
That's right. It was a discovery in Eastern Europe. Someone had it. Like as Rex pointed out, it was in some building they were destroying, and it was there in somebody's living room inside of someone's house. So first of all, how did it get back inside the living room, right? And second, the person who had it didn't even know that car was part of the Too Fast, Too Furious original vehicle. So, I mean, what a story, right? But yeah, I do recall that, and definitely someone purchased it, and whoever has it now, they have something there that's definitely an iconic in the cultural aspect. So,
Most
I
definitely.
So I think, I don't know if you guys seen, but lately they've been, since we're talking about the Fast and the Furious, have you guys seen that I think there's a private collector and with a couple of investors who are actually collecting each vehicle of the saga, and they're trying to bring it out to the
like the actual ones that were used in the movies, not replicas or anything.
Correct. That is correct. Yes. So I think it's the same person who actually purchased that R34 that was inside someone's living room. So yeah.
Okay. Wow. Good on them. That's quite the undertaking to track down all of the Fast and Furious movie cars. So yeah, like to be friends with that guy. But yeah, so bringing it back around, the R34 GTR, it really is a special vehicle. Whether you've got like the base model, there's really no such thing as a base model GTR, but there are so many different rare variants of it that their value can vary pretty wildly. Like I've said before, anywhere between 150 and well over $500,000, depending on which version you can afford. And what was I going to say? I lost my train of thought. Hope when that happens.
Well, I was going to mention it. Has anyone from here seen one? Like just driving by the freeway, down the street? Have you guys seen the GTR R34? I've only seen them maybe in a museum, but I've never seen them like on the road.
Yeah, they're out and about. You don't see them very often. I've seen them at a handful of car shows. Most of the time, I'll see R32s and R33s. R34s don't come out as much. They did have, I think it was a Bayside Blue when I went to Fuel Fest a couple years ago. That was absolutely pristine. And then, of course, I've seen them at Slush. So yeah, but finding one of these things out in the wild is like spotting a unicorn.
Yeah, definitely. When did they change the shape of the GTR? Because like the new ones, obviously for the American market, were very different.
The R35.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me see. I feel like the first year of the R35 was 2005.
Oh,
If my memory's good.
Yeah,
7. I was off by 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that one is on its way out. I think final production year is this year, perhaps. And then they're teasing a new one by 2030 or so, which we did cover in a previous issue of the Daily Driven newsletter. They finally released some details about it, that it won't be all electric. There was rumor for a while that they were going all electric. Thank God they didn't. They're actually keeping the same drivetrain from the R35, but adding hybrid electric motors to it. So it would be conceivably even more powerful, combining electric and internal combustion from the legendary R35 drivetrain, but all new chassis, all new style. So yeah, we got lots of good things to look forward to from Nissan. Fingers crossed. And the one I'm looking forward to the most, which hasn't been confirmed yet, is an S16 Silvia. I know that that's the CEO of Nissan's, like, one of his top priorities is bringing back the S chassis. And I think it would be a smart move because, if you look at the Toyota or the GR86, you look at all the cars in that price point. You've got even like the GR Corolla. You've got, maybe on the lower end of the Supra market, what other cars fit in there? There's a demand for affordable rear-wheel drive sports cars.
Yeah.
And Nissan has been conspicuously absent for one of like the most legendary sports car manufacturers from Japan. They've completely been absent from that category of car. They've had, the Z, which is nice, but it's priced much higher. You have the GTR, which, brand new one's going to go for over $100,000. Where's their $40,000 sports car? Did they just
they don't have? Yeah, it was like the Maxima SV or whatever.
Yeah. So, but yeah.
Back to their roots, what made them famous and what made them popular. So
exactly. So yeah, I know we do, particularly in the Daily Driven newsletter. I know I talk a lot about GTRs. So apologies for that if you get bored of my GTR coverage, but there's just too much good stuff out there when it comes to this particular model. But I try to keep it fresh. So, it's not all GTR newsletter. You might just tell I have a bias.
As we're looking into, the Bayside Blue, I thought about, one of the celebrity car collection threads that we do every Friday, Lewis Hamilton being spotted in Tokyo, driving one of these. So I'm like, yeah, it's not just, let's say from the films, or it's also, in real life, celebrities are actually collecting these, or, professional drivers are collecting these. So yeah, these are definitely something that are very hard to come by and definitely difficult for and out of reach, right? To be able to own. But that's one thing that we're working on here at Driven Labo. But speaking on which of this car, I'm not sure if we're going to be looking over the some of the other vehicles that we're going to be taking like that.
Yeah. So this year we aren't going to have as many vehicles as we did last year. Last year it was 5 cars. This year we're slated to have 3 there. So we've got the Bayside Blue GTR. We've also got a white GTR V-Spec one, which I will show you here. So this is the other one that will be on display. And I do have to say, I am a fan of the white with bronze wheels. Might be biased because that's the colorway on my 240, but it just looks so clean.
I was about to point out you're being biased.
Hey, I'll be the first one to call myself out on that. But yeah, so we got the R34 in 2 flavors at the show, and of course Paul Walker's Ferrari is going to be there as well. And we may have a couple of Josh's friends pull up to our booth too, since we've got the space for them. So we'll see about that. But yeah, we've got an exciting weekend ahead. The next thing I also want to talk about too is the experience around this. So at Slush Motorsports and at all the other major events that we're going to be present at, we want to create a really like a one-of-a-kind opportunity for our community members to really get the most out of their attendance there and really, be treated like the VIPs they are in our community. So one of the things that we're going to be doing, especially as it relates to Slush Motorsports Festival, is we have got ourselves I forget how big this thing is. I don't know. It's like a 30-foot tour bus that is going to be parked at our booth, awnings out, TV. I think we're going to have be able to play like Gran Turismo on the TV outside. And inside is going to be our little VIP lounge. So if you are a Buster holder, a Founders Club key holder, or an RS1 holder, then you'll be able to get into our VIP lounge, get out of the sun for a little bit, grab a cold drink, enjoy the AC, and chill out with us. So, this is just one of the ways that we can show appreciation to the members of our community who are helping to build this with us as a community. And there will be a lot more opportunities at future events to do VIP experiences. And the other thing that I really want to do, so if you are watching this and if you're part of our community, they're going to be at Slush, is please do come by our booth, because I would like to interview everybody from our community that comes out. And what I'm going to do is, since we'll have those cars there, I'm going to say, pick your car. We'll go and do an interview inside the car. So, give you a little inside peek into, some of these amazing vehicles that we've got on hand there. And really just, an opportunity to check in with our community members on, what they're excited about, why they've decided to come on this journey with us. And, even for our audience to get to know our community members a little bit better. So these are some of the things that you can look forward to at Slush and at other future events. But yeah, man, look at this thing. That's a tour bus if I ever saw one right there. Gary, is that you?
That's me. Definitely, that's me. Yeah.
Gary's been working out. He's drifting. No, but I mean, it would be a good time. So please come by, say hi, come hang out, see what the show is like from the vendor perspective. Mingle with all of us there. You'll get to meet Josh, Justin, Rex. I'll be there in spirit and remotely, so holding down the digital port on our side with Gary here. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to you guys going out there. I mean, I'm a little jelly. I'll be there for the next one. So
yeah, we'll definitely get you out. We'll get both of you guys out to the next one for sure.
Yeah,
and I'm not saying the next Slush. I'm talking about the next big event. We don't have to wait a whole year.
Well, isn't there going to be another Slush event as well? Aren't there
Yeah, actually there is. Did I not have it pulled up? Let me pull it up real quick.
Yeah, because I don't think it's just once a year. So
nope. Yeah, they have got currently 3 on the calendar this year. From what I understand, they're looking at maybe adding some to the calendar. But we've got, what is this, in Nashville, Tennessee, coming up in, September 5th?
September, yeah.
Yep. So we are going to be trying to make it out to that one as well. So hopefully we can get the entire team out there for the next event. And of course, we've got SEMA coming up in November. And, hopefully we get everything together for the Austin Grand Prix, where we can have a big, I don't know what the term for it is, grand opening party for the Driven HQ at COTA for the Austin Grand Prix. So that's what we're working towards right now. So lots of opportunities for our community members to come out, really dive into the automotive scene and motorsports and get the full VIP treatment while they're at it.
That Ferrari as a drift car looks so disgusting. My God.
Yeah, you got the two turbos poking out of the hood.
But it's cut open too. Like, oh my God, that looks like such a scary Ferrari.
Yeah. I wonder how Ferrari feels about the end of that thing.
I don't know. I don't think most people realize it's a Ferrari at first, and then it's like, oh wait, there's a horse on there. Shit.
Look at this is the Daily Driven Exotic guys, and they are also friends of Josh's. So I'm hoping to get an interview with them while we're out there this weekend as well.
That build is beautiful. My God. Wow.
Yep. So, but yeah, if you are watching this and you're going to be attending, please head over to the drivenvehicles.xyz page. And then here you can see we've got the Slush Motorsports Festival event pulled up here. Just log in and hit going. Hey, look, I haven't even marked myself as going. Gary, apparently you're going.
Well, we want to stay up to date. So if you guys want to stay up to date, you have to mark attending so that you can see the comments, and then you can comment back and whatnot. So even if you're virtually attending, you can mark attending, and this way you'll be able to stay up to date. And if you don't have a profile, please go sign up. It only takes an email and a couple of steps. So we'd love to see you guys become a part of the Driven Vehicles .xyz platform as well. Add some local events and attend the Slush event so we can all stay on one page and updated.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, regardless of where you're at in the world, this is your resource to discover and to promote events in your local area. So regardless of whether you're organizing one or if you just want to make sure people see one that you've discovered, go ahead and pop it into the map here. All you need to do is sign up and then go over and hit add event. And then you can fill out all of the details to get it posted on the map. And yeah, this is all about building those IRL connections, building the culture. And this is the front door to bring the automotive world into the Driven ecosystem, where we're going to do some amazing things, not just events, but car clubs, building relationships between brands and organizers, and of course our on-chain side with the RWA tokenized vehicles, and coming soon the ability to tokenize your own vehicle and build an economy around the attention of your vehicle. So yeah, we're still early. This is still day one, guys.
Day 1.5. Yeah, and I feel like the JDM car scene and like the blockchain ecosystem or like ethos is very similar, because you like to tinker and experiment, and there is that decentralized kind of like little hubs that are created, right? Same way in car culture as we do on chain. Like people just naturally start gravitating towards each other and little cliques start to create themselves. So I feel like it's a perfect little combination of both worlds, where it's like the tinkerers in the physical world now meeting the tinkerers of the digital world and seeing what they can do together. And I think that it also kind of helps with like the people that enjoy stories and storytelling or collecting NFTs or what NFTs were. It's kind of like, what we saw with NFTs is like attributes. It's like same thing with like, your JDM car, but now you can modify it. And what are your different attributes compared to your friends' different attributes? And like, I feel like that's what people like to share. Like, you don't necessarily need to have the largest and best, most expensive car. Like you can literally come with any vehicle and share why you love it. Like it doesn't have to be built or super powered or any of these things. It really is just, what story do you have around your vehicle? And, do you want to share it with others, or do you want to hear stories from other people? And I think that, we love hearing real life stories, like candid stories. And now that we have all this AI generated stuff, I feel like real life stories are going to take the front page in that way, where like you want to meet a person, hear from them, as opposed to just like read nonstop.
Yeah, there will be a premium placed on authenticity. I firmly believe that. So, that's what we're here to do between the events, or even when you register your own car on chain with our coming update. There is, you can build the story of your car on chain, and throughout the entire life of that vehicle, that just continues to build, even as it changes hands, is acquired by new owners. You can always look back and see, where has this car been? What stories does it tell? And, even get all of the like nitty gritty specs about the car, so you can see, where it stands amongst the other vehicles of that make and model. Because, one of the things that I think is really fascinating is, cars, comparing that to like an NFT collection. You look at NFTs, everybody's like, oh, what's the rarity? What are the traits, right? And that's how people judge, what the value of a piece within a collection is. I look at cars as being no different. Yeah, like we just showed 2 different GTRs before. To the untrained eye, you're like, oh, well, one's white and one's blue. But you don't know, one's a V-Spec 1, the other one's a V-Spec 2 with a Mori built engine. You have that information on chain, and the uniqueness of it jumps out at you, and you're like, oh, wow, like I can tell, because these traits are all tracked on chain, that there's only however many, 400 of these, let's say, of this car versus 1,200 of the other car.
Exactly. Yeah, because right now there is no database of attributes or rarities or any of this stuff. It's kind of like what OpenSea did for NFTs, we're trying to do for car culture, right? We're trying to give them a place to be able to list their attributes, to be able to mint this, and finally have a social graph, or like a visual graph of what's out there in the marketplace and what are people trading. And I mean, I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it, but it's
we can even do that with events, like getting Slush Motorsports and minting their event on chain. So now we have a snapshot in a moment, for a moment of time, where you see how many people attended. You see all of the comments and all the conversations around it. See all of the photos and the videos. And now that event is immortalized on chain as well, and you can see that progression from year to year. That persistent database that blockchain offers isn't just for Bitcoin or meme coins or ape JPEGs. It can be used to immortalize anything of value on chain, and that's really the vision we have of how that can evolve the car culture.
Do you think it would make sense to think about licensing with people that bring their cars on chain, where it's like, if you want to allow people to use your car, to replicate it or use it in media or whatever that might be, those are certain rights that they would want licensing for. Making that into the NFT might help as well, where it's like, if you hold this NFT, you have the right to produce this many images of my vehicle, or use it for this much time in a scene or whatever that might be. But I feel like, taking it further to like the professional realm, I feel like we could then start to license and copyright these things properly.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that what you're describing is an IP play, and people who build, let's like use that example of that daily driven exotics Ferrari. That is a very recognizable car. Millions of people in the automotive enthusiast world know that car because they've seen it drifting, or they've seen it on the Daily Driven Exotics channel. That car could then become a form of IP that then they could, once it's registered on chain, they could generate an NFT collection that then allows the owners, they could sell that collection to their fans.
I'm not even saying that collection.
NFT. Oh, I'm just giving an example. Like, I'm just riffing.
I was just saying,
okay.
Time of demand. Like, here's what you can't mint, and here's the cost of them, and you prove that you have license by minting the thing, right? You no longer have to go to the person, negotiate, have lawyers, and do all this stuff.
Oh yeah, no. Well, that's smart contracts. You don't need that shit.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying in a sense of like, you have three categories of like pictures, video, or whatever sit in the car, right? And that might be significantly more, but you don't need to go on the open market to buy somebody else's. Like that license is out there already. You mint a new NFT for yourself at that price, and I think they can then set that mint price. But yeah, that would be very interesting. Yeah, as far as like who gets it and why. Definitely worth exploring. Yeah, I was just fully dived into the NFT part of it. Sorry.
Yeah.
JDM cars and NFTs, there's definitely attributes and parallels there. They like that we opened that discussion today.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I feel like we could just sit here and, brainstorm all the cool things that we're capable of doing until the cows come home. So, yeah, so we'll leave that one for another episode. Well, we have just ticked over 1 hour for the podcast. So, I feel like we've hit everything we wanted to cover today. I hope to see some of you guys out at the Slush Motorsports Festival and, give you guys an opportunity to hang out in the cars and in the RV. And if you're not able to make it, make sure you follow us on X, Instagram, and our Discord server, where you will be able to see our coverage as we're able to publish it. And then, of course, we've got the Canadian Grand Prix watch party in Discord this weekend as well, so stop by for that. Slava will be hosting that over there. Anything else you guys want to cover before we say goodbye?
No, I think you hit it really well. I mean, if you're in Denver, definitely come check us out at Slush. Otherwise, join our Discord, become part of the community if you're not already there. And if you're not a Buster holder, just hold a couple of Buster, and then you can have access to the watch party so we can all hang out together this weekend, whether you're at Slush or you're at home. So yeah, thank you, and looking forward to next week.
Yeah, absolutely. So make sure to join us, follow us, and as well join Discord. That's where we are always active. So make sure that if you have any questions, you can always ask us there inside the Discord. So as well as, follow Rex, Laba, they're working hard as well. So make sure you follow all of us here and follow Driven Labo and Buster account. So that way you guys are up to date what we're doing. And yeah, it's going to be a good one for the next week because it's going to be post, Slush Motorsports Festival. So there's tons of content that we're going to probably go over. So definitely looking forward to that as well. But in the meantime, we have our Builder Burnout space as well this Friday, I believe. So if, you guys want to join us, make sure to follow us. And it's always an open mic. So everybody's invited as well. And we hope to see you guys inside Discord and also so with that, I guess you guys have a great day. And with that, back to Rex.
Yeah, we'll see, Rex, if you're actually able to make it on Friday, because you're going to be out there at Slush. So
yeah, I'll be in setup mode. So we'll see if I can make it.
Yeah, if you do, we'd love to hear how it goes and what's going on and the happenings. It's always fun to at least remotely participate vicariously through your posts and live stream. So whatever you can share, please do. And I think Rachel will definitely help us share as well. So give her a follow. She'll be dropping some content during the show as we share it. So thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
Thanks, Gary.
All right. Thanks. Yeah. We'll see you next week.